Hi, this is Andrea and welcome to my crafting channel. And today I want to show you my latest journal that I made. It's a small journal. This is my first time making one this size. It is 4 by 6 inches. I made this journal for Dear Julie Julie's October Orderly Junk Journal Challenge. I'll put the link to the challenge video, the beginning challenge video, in the links below, and I'll also put a link to Dear Julie Julie's channel. And I used her digitals Antique Daisies and Far Away, and I'll put a link to those for if you wanted to get those. So there are 3 signatures of 10 pages, 10 papers each, which makes 120 pages. Okay, I have a ribbon closure, and I did fabric on the outside and the inside. And here is a writing board for so that when the person's writing in here, they can put it behind the page, and not have any bumps. So I have a fabric pocket here with some inserts and lace on here. Here is an altered guest check, and I put this, this is like a paper coaster that I have some of. It says made in England, but it has an Asian picture on it. These are part of one of the digitals, I think the Far Away. This I think is from the, I don't know if it's from Ladies or Far Away or Antique Daisies, or this is a special paper that I had. Here is a tag that I made out of a piece of packaging. This little part here is something we did called, I think it was called a fold and tuck and tack. Anyway, it has the same thing on the other side going over there. Here's a little insert. This is from the Daisies, Antique Daisies kit. Here's just a little paper with a pocket. Oh, I have a tag here that I made. Tab rather. This is a double-edged pocket, and I have these little tags in here. This is from Far Away. Oops. A little shaky, sorry. Here's the other side of that tuck and tack. And then I made this little envelope out of some cardstock that I had. And it had a little thing. This is just some extras. These aren't part of the requirements, because we were required to fill every pocket. And this is from one of the digitals. Here's some, I forget what it's called, the kind of paper where you write. I used to use this for when I was keeping track of my budgets and stuff. This is just a lace edge. This is what I used my vintage item for, is a top tuck, and it's a calling card, and I put it on green paper, and I distressed it, and then I put gold pen across it. And then here's a little something to write on that I put in there. I have to say that this is my first time making a journal this small. I usually make larger ones. You know, 6 inches by 9 is what I usually make, and this is 4 inches by 6. And it was actually harder, I think, because, well, I have arthritis, so it was harder making smaller items. This is from the Antique Daisies digital kit. Here's a corner pocket, and I put this playing card in here that I kind of, the way I did this is I used a file, a nail emery board, scratched it up, I put ink around the edges, I glued paper to it, and then I tore some of the paper off so that it can be written on the back. And there's another pocket over here, and I just stuck this card in. So some of these extra cards that I have, these small items, came from this book that I have. It's called, I've had this for a long time. I'm still using stuff. It's from Prima. It's romance novel, and it has some little items in here that you can cut up and put together. And so I used some of that in here too. This is my belly band with the card here. This is from one of the digitals. And it's a belly band with a secret, and the secret is you can open it up and you can write in here. Oops. Ledger, that's what this is called, ledger. And I put this paper in here. This wasn't, I mean, there was a thing where you could do this, but I didn't pick this as one of my items to do, but I did want to have an envelope in here. And here's a little card that I made with the Antique Daisy digital. And this is a paper. I got this paper from DearJulieJulie for, like, she sends a kit out once a month. If you're, I think, Emerald in her Patreon, and I got this paper and I just wove ribbon through it. And then here's a little card here. This is from the Antique Daisy, and I just kind of folded it over and made a little pocket. Put a little card in here. Or a bookmark, you could call that a bookmark. This just folds out and has some stamping on it. And this was my favorite new item that we did this time. It's a tip page with a locking tip in. So there's a tip in here, and it locks with, I used a folded over ticket, and I put a stamp on it, postage stamp, and see, the pages come out like this. You could just do one page, but I did 2, and I made a pocket here because I messed something up, so I turned it into a pocket, and I put this little card in here. And you can write in here, and then this just gets tucked back in there, locked in, as it were. And here's the rest of that paper. Oh, oops. The rest of this paper, I mean. And here's the other half of that envelope. And I made this card with my hoarded item, which was this set of washi tape. And then I cut out a DearJulieJulie flower, but I think this is something I had left out over from a different kit. And I put gold pen on it and aged it. antiqued it, whatever you call it. Here is a fabric flip I made, so you can write under there. It's kind of hidden. I stamped on this piece of paper and then I used colored pencils to color it. This is a flip up, flip down with a pocket. And I have a little button on there, I don't know if you can see it, with thread in it, and there's gold pen, and here we are at the third signature. And I made a little tab here. And this is a dad's envelope. I made a pocket with this. And it has this in it, this card. Oops. And this. I put stamping on here, and gold pen, and washi tape. And I inked the edge here. And I did the, oops, what's it come out? I did this fancy ribbon thing. Julie has a tutorial on these ribbon, I think she calls them fancy ribbon closures. So this is another thing we had to do. It was a, it's a, what is this called? Security envelope. It's like a flip and tuck. So I have a tuck over here, and I put something, just a little something in here. And, oh, I forgot I put this on here. This little postcard comes from a set that was, it's like a prize that you get for during the lives if you pick a number. She does these little prize things. And you get one, if your number gets picked, you get a one sheet. And the first one sheet are these tiny postcards. So you can cut them up and use them for things. And here I have a pocket, and I have this bookmark with lace. And I used the, what is this stuff called? Glossy accents. It's called glossy accents. It looks like this. I wrote "do not shake" on it because you don't want bubbles in there. And then I also just put a little card behind here because there's space. So my envelope didn't look the same as Julie's, so I had to tuck it differently and everything. So this is, I took craft paper or packaging paper like this is sitting on, and I made a double-ended policy envelope. So this opens. You'll see the other side when we get to it. And inside I have just this little scrap paper booklet in here to write on. And then over here is my waterfall page. Just used some of the scraps from what I was doing. And here's the center. Oh, you can see some of the stamping I did over here. I did some stamping on the background. Over here's just a pocket I added towards the end. And I made this little journaling paper that I took a page from the far away and I kind of tore it in half and inked it and put it on top of the music paper. Here's the other side of that double-ended policy envelope that I made. Let's see what's inside here. I don't even remember. Oh, so this is a tuck I learned. Oh, I can't remember who I learned it from. I'm gonna put the link in the description below, and it'll say something like folded paper, folded journaling paper. But what it is that it's held together with a little card inside. See? It's just a piece of paper that is folded like this and then like this, so it slightly overlaps. And then this is folded down and this is folded so they just meet right here. The two edges meet. And then the way I closed it, I know some people were just closing it like this, but mine wasn't holding still. So what I did is I put the card in here too. Excuse my shaking. I have essential tremors. Don't know what's essential about them, but I have essential tremors. So put this in here and put that back in there. I thought that came out pretty fun. Oops. Could also glue that to a page if you wanted to. Come on, thread. Come on, thread, listen to me. And this is part of one of the digitals. Here's an altered paper clip I made. Come off the paper. Okay, here it goes. And I took, this is a file folder, and I just kind of folded it in half. And before I glued the paper clip in there, I glued this strip of fabric in there. And I left the edges like this because I wanted to see how much it would fray. I don't know why. I thought it would be fun. So there's a lot of glue holding it in there. So, and you know, there's stencil. Here's part of the antique daisy digital that I fussy cut. And then here's one of the washi tapes. So this paper that I have here is just a fancy piece of paper I found. Was it at Michael's? You know how they have the single page areas? Well, sometimes they have these ones that are more, look how it almost looks like fabric or something, or heavy cotton. So it'll cost like $2 or $3 for a single page like this, but it feels really interesting, and it has a little bit of gold foil on it too. This is from the Antique Daisy Digital. This is just a cluster that I made out of the scraps and some ribbon and part of the envelope. And then I put tape on the back of this because I stapled this on here. But for this thing, for the writing board, you can just put it under a page and do your writing. You don't have to worry about, is this gonna interrupt my writing. So that's how the writing boards work. And back here it's a corner tuck, a double corner tuck, so I can take that out, take this out. This is, I believe this is from the Antique Daisy. I could be wrong. Then there's like a butterfly and some book page, and these are washi stickers, washi tape. And then it flips up. There's a secret writing spot there. And then we're at the end. Here's what the back looks like. A little bit of threads getting on there. And then, whoops, I didn't push that in. There we go. And then we tie it back up again. So that's my journal this time. I hope you liked it. And until next time, happy crafting.